Hi guys, welcome back to this men's colognes channel. Today I've got a very exciting video for you comparing the new Creed Aventus Absolu and Creed Aventus. Here I've got the plastic cap, so the previous version of the Creed Aventus, and I'm going to compare them, tell you what do I think about the new one. Is it worth buying, or is it sexy enough to actually warrant a purchase, or is it a disappointment? Right off the bat, one thing that I'll say is that I do love the new Creed bottles because they've got a really solid metal cap now, and previously they had just really flimsy caps. Also, this new bottle came in like a proper niche looking box rather than just a cardboard little box like usually designer fragrance would be. So I appreciate the upgrade. I love the design of the bottle, but I believe now if you get Creed Aventus, you'll also get the metal cap, which is great in my opinion. First experience of this fragrance. So I went into Selfridges and me and my husband, we were together and we were like, yes, let's smell the new Creed Aventus Absolu. We were so excited because we both love the original. It's such an attractive smelling fragrance, and whenever my husband goes somewhere wearing this, he gets compliments. It's that sort of a really manly, fresh fragrance. For Absolu version, this one, and I've got it sprayed here also on my arm, it starts off very nice and green, grapefruity. So they took the pineapple note that is usually in the Creed Aventus and they replaced it with grapefruit, which is interesting. It's a bit different. They also added a bit more of this like creamy feel at the beginning. So although this is very fresh, the opening is very mouth-watering, I would say. Apply it again. It's so juicy and fresh and just hits you in the face like the original Aventus. It's really just grabs you. Where if you wait a few minutes, it becomes more of this like calm, creamy, citrusy scent, which I was quite surprised with because I was expecting like a very strong blast. Usually with Creed Aventus you get this blast of citruses and they just kind of sting you in the nose. It's very aggressive, very like, whoa. This is much more of a creamy fragrance, but still very fresh. And the Drydown, I must say, it's absolutely divine. The Drydown of this scent, man, it's so high quality. You can smell that it's just really rich, really dense, really manly. It's got patchouli in there, which smells so good, earthy, and just smells so natural and beautiful to me. It's this greener, more rounder, more robust version of Creed Aventus. Creed Aventus is great because it's fresh, it's clean, it's projecting, it really just plays on these top fresh notes. But this is, I would say, different enough from Creed Aventus to totally warrant purchasing both, because it totally has a different character and it's more of this like grown up sort of a scent. It's a bit more traditional. I would say that this is more like they took green Irish tweed, those green elements, and they kind of mixed it with Creed Aventus, and they've also added one of my favorite designer sort of DNAs, your Sauvage Elixir. This was straight up one of the first fragrances I thought about when I smelled Creed Aventus Absolu. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this, and it kind of reminds me of Elixir's notes. And just to be sure, I've tested them both, and I will say they do have some things in common. So if you already know the Elixir and you love it, then they do have some things in common, but they also, the Drydown, I would say, is completely miles off. This, when you first apply it, it's so much more spicy, whereas this is just straight up citrusy and then it goes to the creamy place. This is spicy, and then in the base you get this Sauvage, you get tons of this vanillic, musky, spicy smokiness, and it's very intense and sweet until the very end. And I must say that I love Duo Sauvage Elixir, but don't get me wrong, it does smell much cheaper in the Drydown. When you smell them side by side, there's no comparison. You straight up know that Creed Aventus Absolu smells miles more expensive, creamy, real in the Drydown, whereas with Duo Sauvage you really get this harsh, woody, vanilla base that is very designer. Like, it's in so many designer fragrances, and you know, they are very cheap to produce those designer fragrances. So I'm glad that they've added a little bit more quality in the Creed Aventus Absolu, and you can totally smell it if you're a crazy person like me who owns over 800 fragrances. I also love how they kept this musky, woody, masculine smell, the same as in Creed Aventus. When you get the Drydown of Creed Aventus, you get this really attractive, manly smell that is just so natural. It almost like melts into a guy's skin, and it just smells the best in my opinion, and they've kept it. That's why I say the Drydown is absolutely amazing in the new Absolu, and I love it. In terms of longevity, also the new Absolu, great longevity, absolutely amazing longevity. But in terms of projection, you'll get more projection from Creed Aventus just because it's got more of those top sparkling citrusy notes. Also, you won't get as much of the pineapple as in Creed Aventus, the original, but you'll get more of that greenness, more of this, I would say, grown-up, gentlemanly, really expensive fragrance smell, which to me, like, I love that DNA. I love that it's becoming more popular. I can also tell you that if you're considering Creed Aventus Absolu, I would say try also something similar, Bohemian Infusion Thameen. This also reminds me of this fragrance and also the Elixir. It's got this bitter greenness, this aromaticness, the citrusiness. They all have that classic manly smell, and this is super amped up, super strong. I just love these fragrances, so I will just throw it out there. If you maybe you don't want to buy this but you want something similar, this is much more green, much more bitter. Love that one as well. In terms of seasons, I would say that Creed Aventus is much more appropriate for summertime. It's just so much brighter and lighter. I would say that Absolu is great for all year round, but it will struggle a little bit in the summer, especially if you live somewhere very hot. It doesn't have enough of that sparkling, citrusy opening to carry you through that heat. It just does best when it settles on the skin and it just lasts and lasts and lasts, and that's where its best chorus at the base. Whereas with this one, you get that sparkling freshness that projects, and it's the perfect fragrance for the summertime. I really think it cuts through the heat. It smells amazing in the summertime. But if you want something that is a bit more grown up, also Creed Aventus, it is copied so much. It's one of those fragrances that, you know, if you live in maybe a less popular city, then yes, this will smell original great. But if you live somewhere like New York, one of the major cities, and you smell Creed Aventus all the time and you want something a bit different, this is also limited edition. So if you grab it now, you'll be able to smell quite original. This is, I would say, in no way a dupe for Duo Sauvage Elixir. They have similar facets, but man, like, try smelling the Drydown. They're completely different fragrances. So if you want something manly, original, classy that you can wear all year round pretty much, except I would find a new fragrance for the summer, I would say, and this one is a great fragrance. It smells expensive, it smells sexy, it smells like a guy who, like, established guy, really manly. The quality is there, like, it's so smooth in the base. It's just a pleasure to smell. My husband actually loves this reiteration of Aventus. He prefers it to the original, so I think it just depends on what sort of fragrance you like and what you're willing to pay for this scent. Here in the UK, currently, this fragrance is, the Absolu version is at a discount at Liberty's. I don't know why, but it is, so I'll link it down below. I haven't seen it on sale anywhere else, so I was like, well, I'll better tell you guys. To me, it's really hard to decide which one is my favorite. It's so hard. I would go seasonally, so in the summertime I would choose Creed Aventus still, and the Absolu at the moment, just because it's newer, and I love that it's a bit more of a traditional, still manly, still very business-like sort of a fragrance, very confidence boosting, but it does have more of that traditional gentlemanly feel. And maybe because I'm getting older, I just really enjoy this sort of a scent. Yeah, I don't know what you guys think about it. Let me know in the comments. Have you smelled it? Have you compared it on the skin? Because scent strips don't do this fragrance justice. So try it on your skin, try it maybe against your Sauvage Elixir as well, and let me know what you think about this new release. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Would you spend money on it? And I'll also try to find any sales. If I can find more sales in the US on this one as well, I'll try to link it in the description of this video for you. Subscribe for more men's fragrance videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.